What's up, my friends? Thank you for joining as the 4K Lowdown and Turner Fan 77 present By the Numbers, where we take newer releases coming out to video, streaming, and theater, give them the lowdown treatment, see if we like them or didn't like them. I'm your host, David, aka the 4K Lowdown, and my co-host is
Rich, aka Turner Fan 77.
all right, Rich. What's going on, brother?
Hey, not much, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
I'm good.
Uh,
Good. Got some.
so
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, we got an interesting mix of movies this week,
We
and
do.
uh, li- like we try to do different genres, different areas. We got one theatrical one, um, a couple surprises for me.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was one that I did not think I was gonna like that I turned out to like a lot. One that I thought I was gonna like more than I did. Um, but still not a bad group. I think all in all, I dug at least parts of all five movies.
Yeah, this week was better than last week, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had a groaner last week.
and there really there's one movie in here I thought was going to be a groaner, just because of the trailer. I
Mm,
mean, I liked the trailer. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't look. The quality wasn't up there with the rest. Um,
yeah,
of the rest of the movies.
yeah,
But
I,
that movie
I
I
agree
ended
with
up
that.
liking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there was a movie.
There was a movie where I was like, I don't want to see this movie. Why do we have this? I did not, I did not want to, I did not want to watch it. But I'm like, okay, I got to watch it. So I put it in and watched it. I'm like, you know what? That was pretty darn good. That was, I really, I enjoyed it way more than I thought.
Me too. If
Uh,
it's the same one I'm thinking of, um, what would you
so
start with that one?
let's start with that one. So yeah, for me, it was Tetris.
Oh no, that's not the one we're talking about.
Okay.
That's not
So
the one
are
I was
you
talking
talking
about.
about
I was
that
talking
one?
about Unseen. Yes.
Yeah. So this one I thought I would like more than I did. So yeah, let's start with Unseen. Um I kind of figured we had different movies in mind.
Actually, I didn't. I
But
thought we were on the same page on this one.
no. This one it didn't look it's pretty low budget.
Yes, that's what I meant earlier when
Yeah.
I was
From the
like,
trailer, yeah. So it looks low budget. It the trailer's all right, but I mean, you can tell it's Blumhouse, so you're like,
mm-hmm.
meh. They've been about 50-50 to where
Yeah,
we've been like, I don't know if that's gonna
yeah, they haven't been hitting very well.
no. We had a cut like, Run Sweetheart Run was awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
And what was the other one we
This
watched that we didn't like? The
um
Visit. The Visitor.
Something Wrong with the Children was another
Oh
one.
yeah,
It
I
was
thought the
Blumhouse
Visitor
that we
was
didn't care for.
Blumhouse too.
I think Visitor was Blumhouse too, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's about 50-50 to where we're like, okay, I like that one and I didn't like this one. This one I'm kind of in the middle of the road. There were parts that I liked
Mm-hmm.
and there were parts that I didn't like about this. Um so I don't know. What was your take on this?
This I had fun. I had fun with it because no expectations. You know, it was
Yeah.
just, hey, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I ended up buying it digitally because it was the same amount price, just about, and it gave you a chance, longer chance to watch it. You know, so I took the risk. Will I watch this again? I'll probably revisit it. Not like anytime soon, but I'll still watch
I
it
mean,
again.
you bought it, so it's there. So yeah, it
Yeah,
might be something like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out later.
I there's a character in here I like, the convenience store lady. You could see there's something wrong with her. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah,
Uh,
I liked both leads. I mean, it's
mm-hmm,
really focused on the two girls.
mm-hmm,
And I like them both for having in dealing with their own individual situations.
yeah,
Um one more obvious than the other one.
yeah. Okay, now tell me if I missed when she dropped that car, when they showed that car that she had on her end at the end of the
Yeah,
movie. Did they
yeah.
show that anytime other? Because I don't know if I missed it, and I was like, oh crap. I didn't.
Well, they showed the card because she wrote the other girl's cell number on the back of that card.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They showed the front of it.
Yeah, they never showed the front of it until the very end.
Because I didn't know if I missed it.
Yeah, and I liked that touch on it because she was like, so what number, who were you trying to call?
Yeah.
And then I was just calling a pizza place. But no, that wasn't it at all. So the front of that card really says a lot about the convenience store girl and her state of mind.
Yeah. And I like the camera work in this too.
I could, for it being, this is another one that was filmed during COVID. So there's very few people in the movie.
I like they did panels. It felt like a comic book where they were sliding the screen. I just really liked that.
Yeah. No, I dig that.
Appreciated that.
I watched the featurette, the making of featurette, which was really interesting because let me read the synopsis. And it says, Sam receives a call from Emily, a nearly blind woman who is running from her murderous ex in the woods. She must survive the ordeal with Sam being her eyes using a video call. And that pretty much says it. That sums up the story. But there are layers to each person, to each lead, that you get over the course of the movie. Like the reason why Emily is who she is and why she's in that situation. And then also with Sam, the convenience store girl, why she's there.
Yeah.
In that job and what she's dealing with.
I didn't like the side story. They kind of went in with the convenient clerk. I was like, that was kind of unnecessary, I thought. And they got a little bit ridiculous at the end.
Oh, yeah, I gotta agree with that.
That I was like, that was unnecessary.
Well, and I guess they were trying to give convenience store girl. They were trying to give Sam an obvious adversary that she's got to deal with too.
Oh,
and I don't think they needed that. I think they could have. I love Missy Pyle. Missy Pyle, I'm a huge fan. I've watched a lot of her stuff. She was in Galaxy Quest and she did a whole bunch of other stuff. I did not like her in this movie. I didn't like her character. But yeah, the whole thing with the husband and wife and the convenience store and the guns and all that, that was ridiculous. But in the making of, they were trying to make it ridiculous. They wanted to do that. Yeah. But I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. And that actually took points away from the story for me.
Yeah, me too. It took 1 point away from me for the story.
Yeah, I took 1 point away also.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I don't know. But as far as the underlying plot, the whole basic of it, I liked. And thank you. My son gave us a like on Facebook. Thank you, my son.
Thank you. David's son.
Yeah. No, my oldest one, Eric. So I guess I don't have to put my grandson to sleep tonight. At least not yet. But anyway, do you remember the movie Cellular?
Yes.
My son says,
yes, I do.
That's what this reminded me of.
Very much so.
Okay, only you got way better actors in that one. You got
Kim Basinger, Chris Evans,
and
I forget who else.
God, I forget who else too, but it's mainly focused on those two. Because she's kidnapped. She randomly calls Chris Evans, who's trying to help her. Kind of the same deal here, only Sam gets this random video call from Michigan, and Emily's running from her ex in the woods. And she's, for some reason, blind, and she broke her glasses.
Yeah.
And she's a doctor. And she's a doctor. I'm not sure I'm buying that, but I get, they had to put that premise in there. So it's like, I can't see. I would have been I think I would have been happier if the ex would have blinded her.
Yeah, that would have been better
Maybe done something to her, put something in her eyes.
Yeah,
Um,
because she's a shitty doctor if she's that blind. There's
Kid's
no
name
way.
is Ricky Martin. You can call me on the payphone. You waste my time. Yeah. But yeah, I think they could have done something different to take Emily's side away.
There's
you know,
the blind. I don't know their names. The lady that played the blind girl. Sometimes her acting came off just a little bit not very good.
Her name is Midori Francis.
She looked familiar. I recognized her.
Yeah.
But she just wasn't very good.
I didn't recognize her, but I recognized Jolene Purdy, who was Sam, who played the convenience store girl.
Mm-hmm.
I recognized her because she was in. God, I'm drawing a blank on the series because I know I just recently watched it. She did WandaVision. She was in WandaVision. Yeah. But yeah, Midori Francis, I didn't recognize her, but yeah, her acting was a little.
Yeah.
There were times where it was spot on. She did great. And then there were times where I was like, okay, that was a little,
yeah.
But the whole thing, what really cracked me up when they did the making of was, they had basically, Midori, Emily's character. Emily was in the woods pretty much the whole time, running through the woods. And they thought that the convenience store girl would be like doing voiceovers from a studio or something like that. No, they put her in the woods too.
Really?
Had her hiding behind trees and stuff while the other girl's running, and she's reading her lines off the script. And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But she's like, yeah, I thought I was going to be in a studio with headphones and stuff, and I just have to do the voiceover. But no, they stuck me in the woods with her and made her do that stuff. So even though she had the convenience store scenes that she was doing, she had to be in the woods with Emily at the same time. So I thought that was an interesting thing. But yeah, the whole thing with the convenience store owner, who was a total douchebag, and
I didn't care for that.
I didn't care for that.
They felt like characters. I mean, it was just like,
yeah, and I think that did seem like, and that's what they said in the making of, that's what they're trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Was some kind of ridiculous thing that just makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but they could have done something. I think if Missy Pyle was a complete bitch, and I liked that until it got way out of hand.
When she pulled the gun out, and I was like, oh,
when she pulled the gun out, and she's like, she never shot it. She just, I was just like, okay, I don't get that. And then she calls her husband and is crying to her husband.
Like he came from one of those.
He came from the Good Ship Lollipop or something, from the Love Boat.
Coming out like he reminded me of somebody from Purge, like somebody that was beyond the street. Yeah. Than the Purge. I don't know why I got that.
He reminded me of Thurston Howell from Gilligan's Island with the hat.
I see it with the hat
and the short, and he was really short compared to his wife, and then he goes and pulls an M16.
Yeah, that made no sense.
And then hits the door with the M16 instead of shoots in the. I don't know. And then the police, they come in. Do they even look at the other two with guns? No, they go right to the convenience store lady who's unarmed in a box with a cell phone in her hand. Her like, get out! Oh, we don't care about these guys with automatic weapons. Get out! And I was like, what the hell, bro? That's not. I would have come in. any cop would have come in and said, okay, everybody drop their guns.
Yeah.
Knock this crap off. It was so that whole part was ridiculous.
And I think the only adversary she should have had was her mental health. I mean, and that's something everybody can identify with. Everybody has those bad days or those, I'll say bad years, just a bad time, where you don't know, if you want to continue on going.
Depression is a real thing. And everybody gets that from time to time.
Yeah, we do. There's nobody on the
So
face of the earth
there's
that doesn't get depressed.
there's you know, so there's familiarity there.
Yeah.
Not everybody has had a bitch husband and wife come out with guns,
Yeah.
but everybody has dealt with depression, has dealt with
Mm-hmm.
sadness. And I think
Feeling
they could have
hopeless.
conveyed that because she absolutely looked sad.
Yeah, she did. She really
I
did.
I I bought it. And
Yeah.
then when that card flipped over at the end, and
And I was like,
I bought it.
oh, yeah.
I bought it. But what the I don't know, the heart wrencher for me was when she called Emily's mother and had her on speakerphone and they were
Yeah.
having
Oh
that
my God. Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would be very hard.
Yeah. And I was like, and yeah, if I was in there in the middle of that conversation, I'd be like, and then she was like, oh man, I don't want
Yeah.
you know, why is this happening to her? And then,
And I like the way she was giving her encouraging words too,
yeah,
even when it was hard for her to be positive about stuff.
yeah,
I did like,
especially herself. She was
yeah.
like, you got to get up, you got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it was like, she was, I don't want to see it living vicariously through Emily, but she kind of was, where she was like, if you can beat this, I can beat what I'm doing.
Yeah. 100%.
And I liked how, I did. I liked it. It's low budget.
Very low budget.
It's not gonna get the scores that we gave these other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I think not a bad offering for Blumhouse. I was actually okay with this.
Yeah.
And I would watch it again.
Yeah.
So both yours and my favorite parts are the ending. We both gave an 8. Cinematography, you actually went a 9 and I went a 7. And for the wild card as a thriller, we were both at an 8.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, solid numbers across the board.
Because I liked how they did the camera work. Yeah, I mean the way they framed it and the side by sides and stuff. I really dug that.
Yeah, I really like what the director did here without too many resources.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and we both gave her a 7.
Yeah.
But in the making of featurette, she was talking about what she was trying to do, and I was like, okay, I see you, I understand. But yeah, again, with the direction and the story and the script loses a little bit for me because of that whole sequence in the convenience store. I thought it went too far. It didn't belong. And nothing happened the way it should have. So that's my only negative for that. Otherwise, I think it was a pretty decent film.
Would you say you gave it for the story?
I gave it a 6.
Okay, see, I was gonna give the story because I was gonna do a 9 because I really liked the story, what they were gonna do. But like I said, I had to take a point off and go with an 8 for.
Yeah. You went 8 because I was at a 7 originally, and I took a point off and went to a 6.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think the story is really simple, but it comes right to the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dug it. I didn't think the story was great, but yeah, I gave the story a 6 and just lost it for me with the whole convenience store thing.
I agree.
So anyway, that being said, closing out Unseen, IMDb gave this a 5.5, only 500 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 80% with 15 reviews, and 85% audience score with less than 50 reviews. So very few people have reviewed this movie.
Yeah. I
got nothing for budget or anything, so I have no idea what it took to make this, but it seemed like it was pretty low budget.
Probably like 50
I wouldn't be surprised if it was under 5 million.
Yeah.
But as far as our scores, you gave this a 69 and I gave it a 65, so total average score of 67 for Unseen.
That's about right.
Considering what it was and how, and the budget and everything, I think that's a pretty decent score. It's a decent movie. It's not great. It's not something you need to run and go see right away. But you know what? If you find that on say Shudder or Amazon Prime or something like that for free, or if you find a nice cheap DVD if it comes out on physical ever, then I'd it's worth seeing. It's not, but yeah, I wouldn't go hunting around for it, but
If I
if it
saw it for
shows up on,
$5 at Walmart,
yeah,
$5, I would definitely pick it up.
yeah, yeah, I think if I saw it in that $5 bin at Walmart, I'd probably grab it.
Yeah. I even like the poster to it. The poster does a really good job for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Not too shabby, my friend. It's a good start.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the okay, so the next highest score on our countdown. So I'm just going to go in order of how we score it because that's except with, with theatrical releases, those will always go last.
Yeah.
In this particular case, it works both ways. So let's take a look at the Boston Strangler. So this movie stars Keira Knightley, and it's on Hulu right now. Came out on the 31st of March was when it premiered. And basically it's inspired by the true story of the reporters who kind of figured out the serial killer, the Boston Strangler, and what he was doing. I like this.
I do too.
I got some definite Zodiac vibes here with the way they did it.
Even the cinematography was very Zodiac vibes. It had that bluish tone. I don't know, is blue the right color? No, I'm not remember. It's just like a grayish blue tone to it.
Like like 70s. There was a gosh, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what it was called, but there was a series on HBO, and I'm thinking it's Mindhunters, but I don't think it's Mindhunters. But
that was Netflix, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, but it was
True Detective.
No, I don't think it was True Detective, but it was like that. Gosh, I can't remember, but they were basically working on a serial killer, and it had that vibe with the grayish blue tones, and it was like they were set in the 70s, and it was kind of the same thing. Like it was basically about how the behavioral analysis unit got started. And man, it's like it's not it's not kicking me, but what is kicking is Spicy. Spicy's in the house. What's up? And he hasn't seen any of these. That is okay. We're gonna try to give you the lowdown on these guys, and see if you might want to see it. So we just talked about Unseen. Got a 67. But we don't think it's a bad movie. It's just low budget and very very little cast. So our scores ended up being low because of the cast. A couple of story problems that we had, but all in all, it was decent.
I'll tell you what, Boston Strangler.
Yeah.
I'm not a Keira Knightley fan. I don't think she's a very good actress, but she did actually really good in this, I thought.
I liked her in this.
I did too.
Her British accent didn't really come out too much. I think her American accent, she did a good job.
Yeah.
I liked the story. I like how this played out. It was a little more women's lib than I expected. But it was in a time where women were absolutely looked down on.
Yeah.
And, when, Keira Knightley is basically like, hey, I think we've got a serial killer. And they're all, you're full of crap. Do these is about, who's wearing the best fashion, and you're like, what? Really? She's on to something. And you guys are being stupid. I think they went back to that too many times, but
they did.
It didn't really deter me from the movie. It's just like, okay, yeah, I get it. Women are frowned upon. Let's move on. Let's get to the Boston Strangler part, because that's what I wanted. So, but yeah. So what was your favorite?
My favorite.
What did you like and not like about it?
I liked the cinematography in this. It really stood out to me. I love the way it was shot. I'm looking at my notes here. Keira Knightley stood out, and the lady, her partner too. She really stood out.
Yeah, I think her name was Carrie Moon.
I think you're right. I think that's it.
Carrie Coon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a Coon. But yeah, I thought she did a
Yeah, I
good
thought
job too.
they had good chemistry together.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I
they
did
worked well
really
together.
like Keira Knightley's husband. We weren't really supposed to because he was kind of a dick.
No, he was kind of a doucheball, and
Yeah,
that's what wanted it. He was like, "Oh
yeah,
yeah, I have no problem with you working," and then all of a sudden he's got a problem with her
hmm
working.
yeah.
So Spicy Unseen was actually on Vudu, was where we watched it.
You can rent
Uh,
it anywhere.
you can rent it on Prime. I know it's on Prime as well. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think it's on Showtime. If you have Showtime, because I did see it
yeah,
on Paramount because it was locked. They had the lock screen, so I'm assuming it's on Showtime too. But yeah, my highlights were Keira Knightley and her co-star, her co-lead. I say because it's and
yeah,
cinematography, and I
mhm.
thought the story. I love serial killers, so um, yeah, I like the story of the Boston Strangler. Did
Yeah,
they really catch the right guy? You don't know.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't say I was as big of a fan of the cinematography, but I definitely see your point.
yeah.
Because yeah, you went 9 and I went 6 for the
Mhm.
cinematography,
It was
but
dingy. I love the
yeah,
dingy
it
look.
was dingy. It was grimy. It
Yeah,
was
like
yeah.
the
I had
smoke like a bar. You remind me of a
Yeah, I
bar.
wanted to take a shower
Yeah,
afterwards. Yeah. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do. It didn't appeal to me,
right.
but I'm kind of glad it was like that because it was, based in the 70s and it was
Hmm.
supposed to be kind of gritty. But yeah, story-wise, you gave it a 10, I gave it a 9.
Yeah,
Um, and the ending, you gave it a 9, I gave it an 8. So we're like right there. 8
yeah,
and 7 with the direction. We're both at an 8 for the wild card. Acting, you went 9, I went 8. So yeah, we're kind of like right there.
yeah.
Um, those were my high points as well. I thought I thought even though the story was good, there was one part that dragged for me just a little bit, and that's why I knocked it down to a 9. Otherwise, it would have been a 10 for me. Because like Zodiac and and Seven and Bone Collector and things like that, I really like that type of movie.
Hmm.
And they they were tasteful, and I don't know if you caught this. This was something, and I think I should have given the director points for this. Even though I was at a 7, I think I probably should have been in an 8 now that I come back to it. Um, but I'm gonna keep with my score because that's the way I had it. But the kills in here, you only hear them,
Yeah, I noticed that. You get a glimpse.
and
Um,
then you get like crime scene photos,
mhm.
and you get like the aftermath, but you never actually see the entire thing. There's
Who
just
directed this? Was this a woman director?
no, let me see. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm trying to
And I'm
remember
not
who it
saying
was.
that in a bad way.
It's no,
Back in
Matt
back in
Ruskin. It's a male. He also wrote it.
okay, well, it could have been a respect thing,
Mhm.
for the women, so they didn't have to, you know, do
Yeah.
that scene on screen. They could just make the noises.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
just noises and thuds and screaming and muffled
And
and
this
stuff like
director
that.
might not like to do
Yeah.
violence against women, and there's
Hey,
nothing wrong with that.
no, nothing wrong
Not
with that at all. I think it kind of led to the suspense of the thing
hmm
because
yeah,
you're like, oh crap, what's going on behind that wall? And
yeah.
um, so let me read the synopsis. It says Laura McLaughlin was a reporter was the reporter who first connected the murders and broke the story of the Boston Strangler. She and Gene Cole challenged the sexism of the early 1960s to report on the city's most notorious serial killer. Um, and yeah, but it's based on a true story. Well,
Yeah. The
inspired
Boston
by a true
Strangler.
story,
Yeah.
which basically like she broke the story. The actual truth of the matter is she broke it. She actually said there's a pattern here,
Hmm.
and then the Boston Police Department and her own news company said she was full of crap.
Yeah.
She went and pursued it and then was able to link another murder to it. And then the Boston Police Department basically went, "Oh, it was all our idea the whole time.
Yeah.
Where, we figured out that it was a serial killer, and we gave the information to this female reporter so she could put it in
Hmm.
the paper." And that's kind of how that went. But
It's a sign of the times.
as a sign of the times back then. But
Mhm.
I dug this.
Yeah.
This was really good. It was tastefully done.
Yeah, because the crimes were brutal.
Yeah.
And I liked how they did it. It didn't make you cringe when they show what they showed. It
Yeah.
wasn't terrible.
Now, but you still got the idea. Okay, you
Mhm.
saw the stocking tied in a bow
Yeah.
and things like that. That you were like, oh wow, okay, I know something horrendous, and you can tell by the sounds coming out of the room
Mhm.
when it happened that something horrendous was happening to these poor women. But you didn't have to be a part of that.
Yeah. And then now that we really talk about it, maybe that should be done more. I don't know. Um, because your mind, what you picture in your mind, is always worse.
Yes,
So I don't know.
absolutely. That's why everybody thinks the books are always better than the movie.
Yeah, that's true. That is very much true.
Um, so yeah, so let's go to the stats. So IMDb gave this a 6.5 with 15,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 69% with 127 reviews, 74% with 250 plus ratings for the audience score. I don't have a budget or anything like that
Yeah.
because it was straight to Hulu. For our scores, you gave this a 79. I gave it a 73, so total average score of 76 for
So
Boston
that's a good
Strangler.
score.
That's a good score. This is worth a watch, you guys. It's on
Yeah,
Hulu right
yeah.
now.
You guys,
If you
well,
guys
see,
have Hulu, check
yeah.
this out. This was good. If you're,
Mhm.
I gotta say, if you're a fan of Zodiac, then this would probably be a good one to watch.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's under 2 hours too, so it's not like
That's
Zodiac's
great too.
marathon.
When they're under two
Yeah,
hours.
it's under 2 hours. So,
Yeah,
and it plays pretty fast for it
it
being
does.
kind of a slow burn. It plays pretty fast.
It doesn't drag too much either.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. So I got some. I had some pictures
Yeah,
for Boston Strangler. And then I got to do. I forgot about Unseen. So some pictures for Unseen
yeah.
and that stupid convenience store owner. There wasn't many pictures of Unseen that I could find, so that's what I could grab. All right, let's move on. So our next one, and we got Pops.
What's
What's up,
up,
Alan?
pops? How you
Thanks
doing,
for
man?
so much for joining us, brother. Appreciate that.
Hope you're doing well.
Uh, yeah. All right. Next up, so the next highest score that we gave, and I just want to confirm because I think I'm right. Yes, because they're close. Luther, The Fallen Sun. Now, this one is on Netflix.
Yeah.
It came out March 10th. It is based on the series Luther, which is same title,
Mhm.
starring Idris Elba, where he's this cop he's a DCI. Um, I think it's like district county inspector or something like that. But anyways, he's a cop in England, and I like this, bro.
I did too.
This
Um,
was this was
this was a winner for me.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
It makes me want to go watch the show. It really
yeah,
did.
I want to go watch the series. And I
Hmm.
know we were talking about that. We weren't going to watch the series because
Yeah.
we weren't going to review it. Um,
Yeah, this was fantastic.
yeah, no, it
Idris
was it
Elba.
was
Yeah.
it was good. It was good.
Hmm. Andy Serkis was great.
Okay. He was mine.
Yeah.
He was my favorite. I think he stole this movie.
He was
Andy
so
Serkis was
creepy.
so good. He was so creepy.
Hmm.
He was vicious. He was
Yeah.
smart. And just the shit that he did in this movie, I was like, man,
Yeah.
man, he was good.
I am glad we watched this because I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, this was
and you weren't lost in
no.
this because we hadn't watched
Even
the
though,
series.
even though we hadn't seen the series, yeah,
At
I
the very
wasn't lost. I was
beginning,
like,
they set it up. Okay,
yeah,
hey, they tell you just enough what you need to know to kick the movie off, and I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So let's read the synopsis. So, brilliant but disgraced detective John Luther breaks out of prison to hunt down a sadistic serial killer who is terrorizing London. Very simple, but so
Hmm.
many layers to this. So, basically, Andy Serkis is like, Luther's going to be a problem for me
Hmm.
doing what I need to do. So I'm going to pull a Tango and Cash on this guy, and I'm going to frame him for shit and get him locked up.
Yeah.
And then I can go about doing my own thing. Um, what's up, Molly? After
Yeah, what's
watching
going
this
on,
now, I
Molly?
want to watch the series. Exactly. We were the
Have to
same
go
way. We were
this
like, dude, I want to go watch the series now. Because I mean, I love Idris Elba. He's one of my favorite actors. But yeah, Andy Serkis really surprised
yeah.
me. He was his face and his hair. I don't know what they did, but he looked like a creepy man doll. I don't
He
know what
did.
the hell it was. He looked like Chucky full grown is
Oh
what
yeah,
I was
that's a
like.
great way to put it because he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, the red hair and it was combed over, and I
Hmm.
was like, and the face and the smile, I was like, and it was
Yeah,
creepy.
he was.
So Luther was good, but I hated the frame rate. It was too smooth, especially during the prison breakout. Okay. Yeah.
See, I
I
didn't,
got
but
to
I
say
didn't
the
bother.
frame rate was smooth. I agree with that,
I
but
like that though.
I kind of dug it. I didn't have a
I like
problem
it.
with it, but Evan, thank you so much
Yeah.
for pointing out that I love it when your comments come in, Evan. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we
And
appreciate it.
Alan, yeah,
Yeah,
the series is
Netflix.
also on Netflix.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, you don't need to watch the series first.
Mm-mm.
This gives you all the
Just gives
background,
you just enough,
just enough to where you're like, okay, I
hmm
know what's going on, and it
and you know
keeps you
what
with
this
it.
dude is.
Yeah. Oh, series is on Hulu too. Okay,
Oh, I
but yeah,
didn't
I
know
know
that.
the
I just
series.
saw it on Netflix.
Yeah, the series is on Netflix as well. But
Yeah,
cool. Thanks, Evan. Um,
appreciate it, man.
but yeah, oh man, I dug this.
Hmm.
This was
And I
good.
love the traps. Um,
Yeah, I loved what they were doing. Netflix paid more than BBC, so it got the movies.
I don't want
Yeah,
to spoil anything, but I
yeah.
love. I don't know how to say it. When the people were hanging. If I what I can say without spoiling, I dug that.
Well, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
There's more than
The
one
hanging
scene
people.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple. There was one where there was multiple,
Yeah.
like a scene from Predator where they're
Yeah.
hanging. Um,
Hmm.
but I like the one with the people on the buildings in that shopping center where Luther's chasing him down
Oh
after
yeah,
he'd
yeah,
already
yeah.
broken out from prison, and he had
Hmm.
already planned
Yeah.
this whole elaborate thing for him to get away. And when it went into play, you're like, holy crap, what the
Yeah.
yeah, I dug it. Now I think it got a little complicated and it didn't need to do that, but
What did
it
it get
led
complicated for
to
you?
just so many things that Andy Serkis did.
Oh yeah, he's like a
I
mad
think
genius.
yeah, and he was really showing it. He was trying to be the Kubrick of serial killers.
Yeah.
And I didn't think he needed to do that. I not that I didn't like it, but I didn't think he needed to go that far.
Now remind me, is he the ringleader of the cameras? Um, I don't want to spoil it too much.
Hmm. To my knowledge, it's not on Netflix because Hulu has a deal with BBC for the show. I thought I saw that it was still on Netflix.
Yeah, me too. We could be wrong.
We could be
Um,
wrong.
yeah.
Um, but I thought I remember when I went to go watch this, the Luther series was still there on Netflix. but I know Luther was on Netflix at
Yeah, it
least,
was at one point.
but maybe Hulu got it. Either way, I think Pops,
Either one.
you
Download the
check
app, just
either
play,
one and see
and
if
then
you can
type it in.
find it.
But anyway, was he the ringleader of the people with the cameras? Remind me, because I don't remember. So we watched this a while back. You know what I'm trying to say? I want to say call it a cult. I don't.
The people with the cameras.
That we're watching. Was he like the? Did these people participate? Because that's the way I took it. Is that some of these people participated in what he was doing at some point?
Well, yeah, I think they were
Because it was like
participate
everybody, like different walks of
or
life.
yeah, but they were like um call it a fetish
Okay, yeah. Okay, now
or they were into it but they weren't doing it, but it was, like say, you really like watching cat videos but you don't have a cat, like something like that, to where you're like
yeah, you're right.
um,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I got. Luther was great because he didn't watch the shows but got the character right. Yeah,
yeah,
people were paying to watch and there was a small group that helped him. Yeah,
yeah,
that was the thing. There was a small group that helped him,
yeah.
and then there was like this whole subculture that was into it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know
And
if they were.
so they were paying, I
Yeah.
think, to observe, to kind of be a part of it.
Okay.
And
I didn't
then
know
yeah,
quite if they got themselves involved
yeah,
too with the
I think
activity.
I think they were compliant. I think they were accessories to the
yeah,
fact, but I don't think they weren't doing it, but they were like, "Oh, you're doing this. I want to be a part of it.
yeah.
I want to watch what you're doing."
And then
And
there's that scene towards the end where you see
they're
all
creepers.
that. I dug that part. That was one of my
Yeah,
favorite parts too.
yeah.
This
So
had to have a high budget.
yeah, I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can't find any budget on these. But yeah, I would say probably 25 million.
Oh, I bet it's higher.
Um, but it seems like it was a pretty good budget. They had a lot of special effects,
Yeah.
a lot of practical effects, a lot of car crashes, and the whole thing in the snow. And
That was
I thought
cool too. And I
that
love
was
this. Will spoil it. I love the bodies.
yeah,
So you know that they were doing this for a long time,
yeah,
as because there were just tons of bodies in that um, water or ice, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, yeah. Well, in the frozen lake, so under the ice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a cool. I really
that was that was a trip. And yeah,
yeah,
interesting. So yeah, you actually threw some tens on this one.
I did. I
You threw
really really
tens.
liked
You
this.
threw tens in the acting,
Mm-hmm.
the story, and the wild card. And yeah, totally on board with that. Now I did nines for the wild card. We both had nines for the ending. The ending was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have an 8 for the story, and I have a 7 for the acting. I thought there were some of the sub actors I didn't really care for, but Idris Elba, Andy Serkis, they were good.
Yeah,
I didn't care for the woman cop too much.
yeah.
I thought I didn't think she did a very good job, except with the daughter when the daughter was involved.
Oh yeah.
I liked her for that, but not as a police officer. I didn't feel that. Um, and then the other people, the old mentor guy, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, whatever. And
Now, I wonder,
um,
is he in the series too?
he's got to be in the
Yeah,
series.
because it felt like he was a character
I
that.
would think so because he was he was the commander and he retired or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
What's up, Dell?
Del?
Um, but yeah, no, this this was solid. I really like this.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
watch this again. I would buy it if it ever came out to physical.
Me too. And that's
Uh,
weird because we
yeah,
haven't watched the series.
we haven't watched the series, but yeah, I'd buy the series. I think I'd get
That's
the
great
series.
writing. This is a great
Yeah,
show that movie that was had really
yeah.
well written.
This was interesting. So yeah, uh let's go to the scores. So IMDb gave this a 6.4 with 40,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 67% with 92 reviews. Audience score 85% with fewer than 50 verified ratings. You gave this you went huge. You gave this an
I really liked it.
86. Yeah, you gave this an 86, bro. I gave it a 75. Still loved it. Total average score 80.5 for
Nice.
Luther the Fallen Son. Guys, it's on Netflix right now. This is definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Out of the three movies so far that we've talked about, Unseen, Boston Strangler, Luther, so far, Luther out of those three, go watch first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best out of those three for sure.
Yeah.
Dell says, I just flew in from 4 of the streams. Boy, are my arms tired. Series is great, darker than Sherlock. Yeah, I agree with that. Just in what I saw from the movie, it seems like it's really dark, and it's it's kind of brutal for a TV, for based on a TV series.
Yeah.
I wonder if the series is the same way, where
I hope it is. I hope it
you
has that same tone.
kind of see that brutality.
Mhm.
And yeah, if it's darker like that, I'm interested.
Me too.
Yeah. So then, a couple of pictures I have. So from the breakout, well, before the breakout,
Idris
and
Elba, I can watch him in anything, and he does a fantastic job. He's
yeah,
just
he
one
could
of
do
those
a
actors.
soap. Yeah, he could do a soap commercial, and I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's Idris Elba. I'm going to watch this."
Mhm.
Um, I still, I really wish he could have been James Bond, but
I
it
think
just took
everybody
too long.
wishes that.
Yeah, but I guess it's a Aaron Taylor Johnson, or at least it's his to lose
That's
right
what the
now.
people are talking.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, yes, it is. BBC gets more freedom than our TV station does. Yeah, because
yeah.
you get that England thing to where they're like, yeah, we're not afraid to put stuff out there.
Mhm.
I thought Luther was only a series, didn't know about the movie. Well,
Yeah.
now you
Definitely
do
check it
must
out, Dell. And you don't need to
check
watch the
it out.
series either.
Yeah. You don't have to watch the series in order to see this, but if you do, then you get all that more background.
Mhm.
But they give you enough in the movie
Yeah.
to
We
where you're
weren't
like,
lost at
okay,
all.
I'm not missing it. Yeah, we weren't lost
Yeah.
when we went because we hadn't touched the series yet. But yeah, no, this was good.
It was
I
fantastic.
really liked it. Very, very
I didn't
solid
realize
movie.
we were that far apart on the score there.
Yeah. Far apart, but it's still one of my favorites that we
Yeah.
watched.
I have two movies I really, really liked this week.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's two movies I really liked, but yeah, one movie, God, this one movie really surprised me. And I blasted it first because this was the one that I didn't think I was gonna like, and it turned out I did, and that is Tetris.
I
Um,
loved this.
Tetris
Oh,
stars
this was
Taron
fantastic.
Egerton, and guys, it's on Apple TV Plus right now. It premiered just this last week, just this last
Yeah.
Friday. But uh, I'm just gonna start by saying how much I hate Tetris. I
That I would say
absolutely
that's un-American, but don't really work.
It's not American. This is a Russian.
Right?
This game was invented in Russia.
I
So
loved this game.
so I saw the trailer for this. I saw this title and I'm like, I don't want to see this movie. I hate Tetris. I did not like the game. I thought I knew all about how it started and how it came from Russia and they were doing all this kind of stuff during the Cold War and it was all kinds of crap. But it went so much deeper than that.
Mhm.
And uh Was it? Evan says Boston Strangler was good. It just reminded me that Zodiac did it way better. Yeah, no, Zodiac was better. This was definitely Boston Strangler was definitely a watered down version of Zodiac, but I definitely got Zodiac vibes. Used to play the game for hours at a time, so addictive. See, no, I get.
See, I got it when it came with Game Boy, the original Game Boy. I love that. I was just like, boop, boop, boop. I love it. I even played it when it came to the console. Yeah, I love Tetris.
Yeah, I did not like it. I was having a problem with Taron Egerton's accent in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it just did not sound right for him. But it was good. It was British, a good American accent. It was, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It just didn't fit him for some reason. I've never really heard him do an American accent.
Right. But yeah, this oh man, I think this is my favorite movie out of the 5 that we watched. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Tetris. I was the king of that game. Haven't seen the movie yet. Hopefully this weekend, a 4-day weekend. Good. All right, Evan. I hope you get a chance to see it. Yep, played it on Game Boy. Yeah, no, I totally washed my hands of that. I did not like that game. I guess, I'm also kind of, I don't like coffee either. So,
neither do I.
But yeah, so my brother one time told me I was a communist because I didn't like coffee. He goes, you probably don't like watermelon either. And I says, no, I don't. He goes, you're a communist. I'm like, really?
How do you not like watermelon?
I don't like watermelon. It doesn't appeal to me unless it's frozen. That's the only way I'll eat it.
No.
I like cantaloupe and honeydew melon.
I don't like cantaloupe as much.
But I don't like watermelon. But anyway, David is just not square enough for us. I'm not square enough for this game, that's for sure. So yeah, that being said, but like I said, I watched the trailer for this and I was like, I don't want to watch this.
I saw the trailer and I was instantly like, I'm in.
I was like, oh my god, a Tetris movie. But so yeah, so I went 6 for the trailer because I hated it. I was like, I don't want to see this. So
it's weird how we saw the same trailer, probably.
Yeah. No, we do it. We do it. Yeah.
That's just so weird to me.
But yeah, no, I was like looking at the trailer. I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
But and it, and then it's basically just a lot of, a lot of talking and, having to go to Moscow and behind enemy lines and stuff's going on.
And the way they put it,
watermelon is nasty. Thank you, Molly.
Come on, Molly.
I got one person that supports me with the watermelon.
She's no longer my favorite person.
Oh man, we're gonna say goodbye to Molly. But no, watermelon. Molly, you can say.
You make me forget what I was gonna say. The way they incorporated the 8-bit video games, I absolutely love that.
With the scene changes and stuff, I dug that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. You get the little 8-bit with the building, and then it kind of falls down and it says where they're at, and and it was like it was like level 1, level 2, level 3. I dug that. I thought that was kind of cool. It was neat they would do that. Reminded me of how they kind of did Scott Pilgrim, and so yeah, I was down. Truly love what Apple TV Plus is putting out. Just watched Sharper and Causeway today. Even they're not great movies are better. Even they're not great movies are better than most other streaming services.
I'm telling you,
I gotta agree with that.
Apple TV Plus does fantastic. I loved Causeway. Evan, you need to go watch Coda. If you haven't watched Coda yet, that is fantastic.
I'm not allowed to comment on watermelon in the present.
Oh, Dell, you just. Dell, we love you, man.
Bro, come on.
You're gonna make me snort, man. Don't do. Oh shit.
All right.
Okay, let me
Where are
close.
we?
Coda, Evan. Watch Coda. That won Best Picture last year. I think 2021 or 22. It was 22, I think. 22 Oscars. It's fantastic. Like I said, I love Causeway. Sharper wasn't too bad.
I like Sharper. Sharper was good. Emancipation was good.
Yeah, I thought Emancipation.
Dug Emancipation.
And there's a dance movie
this.
That's got Dakota Johnson in it. Something I like that one too. I forget what it was called. But man, my chest hurts now, Dell. I'm too old and fat for that. Don't be doing that.
Don't be doing that. My heart. Right? I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming to get you. Yeah, we can't handle that, bro.
Yeah.
Be like, oh man, my arm's getting numb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sign off because I'm about to pass out and have a heart attack.
It's a great streaming service. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Dell.
But no, Dell, we love you, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing, and again, I couldn't find a budget on it, anything like that. I will say this, and I'm just, whether it spoils it or not, I apologize. But they made this out to believe that Tetris basically ended communism.
Yeah.
In the Soviet Union. That this was, and I'm like, okay, it might have had a small part, but it was already ending. Shit was already happening. But to say that this was the catalyst that caused everything to end. And I just spilled something on my computer.
Oh, that's not good. It's Dell's fault. He got you.
Dell, dag nabbit.
Well, the guy that played Maxwell, the older Maxwell guy, he was so slimy, and oh man, you just wanted to punch him.
Yeah. No, the older Maxwell guy, and I was like, I thought I recognized him, but
I did too,
with the tattoo and everything, and I was like, but then I went and looked him up, and I'm like, no, I don't really know who that guy is. Just he looked different to me. But and then the younger Maxwell guy was just a sniveling little.
Oh, I wanted to curb stomp him too. Ugh.
Yeah, somebody wanted to punch. I need to punch him in the throat.
Yeah. It had a great soundtrack too. That's another thing I liked.
It did. I liked the music to it. The music was good. I liked the whole. I like the Russians. I like the whole Russian vibe and the whole with the KGB and all that kind of stuff and how they were trying to negotiate the contracts and everything. What they were doing.
Right.
How they were playing it. I was like, oh, you guys are shrewd. Don't mess with Tetris, it'll make you spill. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, my fault. I'm still blaming Dell. But anyway, this I dug this movie. I liked it.
I'm just gonna go, like I said earlier, this is my favorite movie out of the 5 movies that we watched.
Yeah, it was yeah, because you threw tens all over this movie. So you gave a 10 to the plot, the ending, the story, the script, and the cinematography. My only 10 was in the ending, but 9 for wild card, 8s for story and script, 8 for acting. You did 9 for acting, but yeah, I thought it was a solid movie.
Yeah, and
considering I came in going, I'm not going to like this. And then I came out going, God damn it, that was good.
And that reminds me, you have no interest. I'm going to go back to one of our very first conversations we ever had on the very first episode, or it was the High Five, right?
Yeah.
We talked
Jojo Rabbit.
This is
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, this is how I feel with this movie.
Yeah, I liked Jojo Rabbit a lot more than this. But this was still this was something that I would have never seen. I would have never touched, but I feel I'm happy that I watched it and I'm glad you put it on the list. I mean, I put in Luther of the Fallen Sun. You put in Tetris. I'm happy with both
Me
movies.
too.
And,
Yeah.
it was really good. So so let's go to the scores. So total scores, IMDb gave Tetris a 7.4 with 13,000 reviews. Rotten Tomato critics score 82%, 158 reviews, 91% audience score with 250 plus ratings. Like I said, I couldn't find any budget or anything on it. You gave this movie an 89, almost a 90. I gave it a 78. Total average score 83.5.
That's good. That's really good.
That's good. You guys
See it.
see it, because I came in thinking I was going to hate it, and I liked it.
Mhm.
So this might get my sleeper pick of 2023.
Yeah. You know,
When we do the
I like
Lowedown
doing
Awards.
that to Dave.
Yeah.
Give him something he thinks he's going to hate, and then he ends up liking it. I
And
love
then
it.
I
It's
end
a
up
great
liking
feeling because we're both movie fans, and you showed him something that
Yeah.
he
I like
likes.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like it when I can do that for you too.
Mm-hmm.
That you were like, man, I would have never heard of this. I never heard of this
Yeah.
movie. I would have never watched
The
it.
movie I was just telling you
And it
about
was good.
earlier. I
Yeah.
have never heard of it, never watched it, and I'm going to finish it tonight because I
Yeah.
really, really dig it.
Yeah. No, I love that movie, and I'm glad. So when we do our top 10 Vs, I can't wait to
Mhm.
talk about that.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, we got one more left. And
Yeah.
it's in the theater right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah. I like
And
this. I really like
this was my favorite out of the 5 for obvious reasons.
Yeah. You know, I like Tetris more because what we get in John Wick 4, we got in John Wick 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. It's not bad at all. That's not a bad thing. Because what John Wick movies do, no other movies really do.
Yeah.
But that was the only reason I picked Tetris over John Wick.
Tetris would be a bigger surprise to me.
Yes.
So definitely my sleeper pick of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew I was going to like John Wick, and I did. I had high expectations for John Wick, and they were met. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this, like I said, they have the formula for spitting out these great action movies, and they played that step by step.
Yep. Almost to perfection. I mean,
almost, yeah, because they've done it 3 times before. All they had to do was kind of do the same type of thing, bring in some great fighters and have a great cast and do some kind of crazy thing that John Wick's got to do. And that's exactly what happened. So
before we go, what do you rate this as out of the 4 movies?
Oh, that's a very good question. As I try to type on my keyboard. I actually have this as my lowest rated out of the 4.
Oh, really? I'm just,
but not by much.
Better.
I do, yeah. I think number 1's the best, and then, for me, I go 3, and then 2, and then 4. But
see, we're almost there. I go 1, 3, 4, and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was just too long at some point. It did.
It's almost 3 hours. It's 2 hours, 49 minutes. So it does play like that. I mean, it's fast, but there are a couple of draggy parts. Yeah.
They could have shaved maybe 20 minutes off.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But I still liked it, as our scores will show.
Yeah. Our scores will show. This one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have.
I'm pretty sure David broke his keyboard.
No, it is working, but it's going to have to be cleaned. And I've got a nice puddle right here in front of my computer, so I'm trying
Oh
to.
man.
Fortunately, my computer was it's off the desk, so it's not.
Oh good.
I didn't damage it.
We're still
I
gonna blame
basically
Dell.
just drowned my keyboard. So we have a production budget of $100 million
Yeah.
for John Wick, and so far it's made $250 million in the box office.
And it got knocked out of the number one spot fairly quickly. I thought it was gonna ride a little bit longer.
I thought so too. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of surprised that I didn't have a whole lot of people in the theater when I watched it,
When,
and I saw it twice in the theater. The first time theater was jam packed
mm-hmm.
on Tuesday, and then I watched it the following Saturday
Yeah.
again, and the theater was almost empty.
I see. I wonder if word of mouth I mean, it's a great film, but I wonder if word of mouth got, hey, you've seen the first three John Wicks, you know what you're getting. And I wonder if that hurt it. Because the movie that knocked it out of the first place spot is not that great of a film compared to what John Wick is.
Yeah, I'm behind on the comments. So
Oh, I'm
David,
sorry.
you need to have a co-host kick this person off. Don't even know his name anymore. Extremely fun, but requires a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, it's a 4-color universe, bro. It's
Yeah.
not. There's nothing. There's nothing believable here.
See, that's why I like the first one. First one is grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And then
So
second
John Wick
one, you
4
just
is number 2, because number 1 is perfect, then 2, then 3.
yeah.
Okay, got it. I got you. 1, 3, 4, 2.
Yep.
Depending on the day, I could put number 3 first. See, I could too. I'm a 1, 3, 2, 4 guy, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of Mark Dacascos, and I loved him in
Mm-hmm.
3. Apologize to the Tetris gods to get your keyboard to work. Word of mouth made me more excited to see. Yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with any of your guys'
Yeah.
thing.
All
No,
valid
I'm
points.
totally all good points. All make
Mm-hmm.
sense. Um,
And that's just
but
say
yeah,
Keanu, man. He's just a fucking beast.
yeah, no, he did good. So, but I gotta say, because the reason why for me, um, for my main reason for liking number 4
Donnie Yen.
is that guy,
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, this was the first time where John had to face off against somebody that I didn't think he could beat.
Yeah. I agree. And I didn't know who. I mean, I knew his face, but I didn't know who he actually was until you turned me on to Ip Man,
Right.
and he was so fantastic in that.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of Ip Man in here too
Mm-hmm.
with some of the fight scenes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, there we go. There's a little Ip Man.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's absolutely he's such a great
I know he's a
precise.
little under fire right now.
Yeah.
A little country, but who cares? He's great in this.
Yeah. And also before I want to go any further, I want to say rest in peace to Lance Riddick,
Yeah.
who passed away. So yeah, he was a great addition to these
He was.
films.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was really sorry to see him
And
pass.
I was really shocked. I don't want to spoil it. Never mind.
Mhm.
We'll skip over that. Never mind. My
Yeah,
bad.
we'll skip over that. But so just to read the synopsis, like you guys don't know, John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table, but before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. Because he and Donnie Yen were buds. They were friends,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how William Dafoe was and was supposed to kill him in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was a friend. So Um, I also want to give special props to Scott Adkins in this,
Oh yeah.
who wears a fat suit and kicks total ass in this movie. He was funny. And I dug him. Yeah, Donnie Yen is a legend. His fight scene with Jet Li and Hero is iconic. Oh yeah, yeah,
I haven't seen that movie.
um, yeah. Oh man, it's so good. Um, if we ever do H's in the in our alphabet soup, that'll
Yeah.
probably be on my list for sure. Um, okay, so um, and I got chastised for this a little bit. I actually felt that a low point for me was Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I didn't I loved his outfits, and I was like his outfits are like equal parts Liberace and the Joker. So I dug his outfits, but I didn't his accent bugged me,
Hmm.
and he wasn't I don't know, he didn't seem that menacing. He was um he was trying to, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but they supposedly gave him all the power to try to kill John Wick, but he just didn't seem like he was that powerful. Best acting Scott Adkins ever did. Yeah. No,
I
I
don't
don't look
know if
for
it's
Oscar
I'm getting
nominations
burned
for him.
out on Skarsgård because he seems like he's popping up in so many things, and
Yeah.
it's really the same thing that he's popping up in. It's the same type of character, um, or similar character, and I got easily turned off by him really quick.
Yeah.
His acting doesn't stretch. He
Yeah.
doesn't like I don't know the right words. He doesn't push himself.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I'm saying it was a low point. I still thought he did a good job,
See,
but
I
in
didn't like the character.
comparison to Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne and Ian McShane and all this other guy, I think, he stands out to me as something that was like, eh,
I thought the
all right.
guy that went to the hotel, the Continental, the first time and said, "Hey, you know, I forget his name. He's in a lot of things. He had the gray beard."
You mean Clancy Brown?
Yes, I think they could have took that other Skarsgård out, just took him out completely of the movie, and then have him be that character. He would have been more menacing, I think.
Yeah, and you notice, yeah, I dug that. So the only thing I wanted from Clancy Brown is I wanted him to, when they were doing the whole thing, to have him say there can be only one, because he's the Kurgan from the original Highlander movie,
Hmm.
and I really wanted some Highlander Easter eggs to come through, just for me. It wasn't a thing. Evan says Scott Adkins reminded me as Penguin from the Batman, but they must film both movies around the same time. No, I think Colin Farrell was Penguin.
Yeah,
Yeah, Colin Farrell was Penguin. The makeup on that was beautiful too.
yeah.
But actually, Donnie Yen does a movie called Enter the Fat Dragon, where he does all of his fighting in a fat suit.
I think
And
you told me this.
yeah, and it was funny as hell. It was great. And that's what Scott Adkins reminded me of in the movie. I think it's they took that same fat suit, put it on Scott Adkins, and said, "Okay, we want you to be German." And he goes, "Oh, Mister Vic." Ho, 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 ho. But I love seeing, even if it's a fake fat guy, I love seeing a fat guy fight, because that makes me feel good about myself.
Right? But I think speaking
Maybe
of
I
fight,
could do that.
I think the best for me, my favorite fight scene was the stairs. That was the high point of the fight scene.
Yeah. Donnie Yen, two major American movies, he plays a blind man. Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
and um several of his Chinese martial arts movies, he plays a blind man. He's done that quite a few times. Um, but yeah, I mean, there were so many good stuff. My favorite, I love the whole car scene in Paris, and I'm not going to call it a car chase. It was a car fight
Hmm.
in this movie. That's probably my favorite part. Um, but I would have liked to see the daughter, from the Tokyo or the Okinawan or the Japanese
Hmm.
continent, Osaka. I think that was where it was.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of her
Yeah. I wonder if she's
in
gonna
it.
pop up in something else in another movie
I,
because they
I,
spent like that little time
yeah,
on her, and she felt like she was an important character.
yeah. And guys, don't forget there is an end credit scene in this. So if you get a chance
Yeah.
to watch it, stay for that. Because there is some kind of bearing there. Um, and but yeah, maybe she pops up in Ballerina. I don't know.
Which is coming out next year.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing. I would have liked to have seen Anna de Armas
Hmm.
in here at some point.
But that would have just made the movie longer.
No, it didn't have to do anything, just to kind of see her and have her maybe do like a small talk with him and then go off.
That's true. Yeah.
So just kind of acknowledge her, and then they could do the spin-off movie.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think Ballerina is
Me
going to be
too.
good. So yeah. So going to our scores, your tens for this came in the cast, plot, ending, cinematography, direction, and wild card. My tens came in cast, plot, cinematography, and wild card. And then I gave a 9 to the ending. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. IMDb gives this an 8.3 with 90,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 94% with 316 reviews, 94% audience score with 5,000 plus ratings. You gave this a 91, and I gave it an 88 for a total average score of 89.5.
That's a damn good score.
Really good score. And that does take our highest score of the week.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, good movie.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoyed it.
still enjoy Tetris more because that was different than John Wick.
Yeah. Tetris was a big
Hmm.
surprise. I really enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would. I'd watch it again.
Oh yeah,
And I'd look for a physical on that. I'd probably get it
me too.
if they do a physical release of this. But
Yeah,
they didn't release Coda
yeah,
on
and I'm
physical
so
release, and it
disappointed
won
because
Best
I
Picture. And
want
I'm
that
like,
movie.
what do you? I don't understand. So we'll probably never see this a physical release of it.
Yeah,
But no.
fingers crossed.
But I think it was Evan. Evan was talking about how good Apple TV Plus has been,
Yeah,
and I got to agree, their quality is really
hmm
up there.
and their TV shows are good too.
Can you really compare the two? One is putting blocks down, and one is about
I'm
putting
putting
bad
bad
guys
guys
down.
down.
I was gonna say one is putting blocks down, and the other one is, you know, punching someone in the block.
Yeah,
Um, but either way, things are going down.
hmm
But I gotta say, there's some good action in Tetris.
oh yeah, there is, isn't there?
There's,
Yeah,
there's some good action in Tetris.
hmm
It's not bad.
yeah.
Well,
Well, what I haven't seen any. I mean, enlighten us, Evan, because
I haven't. Yeah, I don't know of any.
I haven't seen.
I don't know of any Apple TV Plus that is being
Mhm.
released on physical. At least not yet. Some of the blocks are villainous. Yeah, the whole game is villainous. Um,
Yeah, because I haven't
but
seen.
yeah, I don't know what Apple TV Plus movies have come out on physical, but I did
Maybe
find
Ted
out
Lasso.
that.
might be being put out on Blu-ray. I don't know. Well, I think it is actually. I think Ted Lasso is coming out.
Ted Lasso might be.
Yeah.
Bill Murphy won on the Rocks.
Haven't seen that one.
I don't know. I did find out that Prey is coming out to 4K.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to
that's
that.
Disney. Bob Iger's back. He said he wants to get back to what makes them money, and that was physical releases. Kind of funny how that works, right?
Yeah. Oh, Bill Murray. Okay.
Yeah, I knew who you meant.
Yeah. I didn't. I'm like, who's Bill Murphy? But no. So that's it. That's our show.
What movies? Do we have
I like it.
week?
What do we have for next week, brother? So yeah, we've got. We're gonna look at the Dungeons and Dragons movie next week.
Yep.
And then we're gonna look at The Lake, which is a Thai horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
In His Shadow, which is on Netflix. Marlowe, which is just about to come out on Physical, and it's the Liam Neeson noir detective movie that I actually saw it in the theater. And then, all right, we moved Weathering, and we're gonna watch Kids versus Aliens, right? Which is also on Netflix, but is also getting a physical release.
I think Kids versus Aliens is on Netflix.
Yes, I think it's on Netflix.
I don't know. I thought I looked it up and I didn't see it.
Maybe I'm wrong. I saw it somewhere.
Let me look. Sorry, guys. Kids.
I could have sworn I saw it on Netflix. It says Prime Video, but it's rental. But I could have sworn.
I've only seen it. I only saw it on rental. For rental. Dave's trying to work his keyboard, spilled his drink all over. But anyway, we got some good movies coming next week.
Yeah.
I've watched so far Dungeons and Dragons, of course.
Me too.
In His Shadow, Marlowe. I still need to finish Marlowe. I haven't finished watching it. I still need to watch Kid versus Aliens in The Lake.
Yeah. Amazon Prime and Vudu.
Yeah.
Could have sworn I saw it on Netflix, but yeah, I'm probably wrong. But yeah, Amazon Prime and Vudu is all I can see.
Yeah. That's okay. Then the following week, we got a couple good movies, hopefully, in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, guys, if you guys see any new releases, I think it's in September.
September, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Del. Again, guys, if you have any new release movies, that you want us to talk about, review, watch, just throw it in the comments or DM one of us, and we'll put it on our list.
Yeah, hit us up on Instagram or something like that. I was like, hey, can you guys check out this movie? It's on this channel or whatever. And we'd be happy to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Actually got I want to call out, what is it? BBQ Network, who has been like blowing me up on YouTube with suggestions and thanking us for our shows and liking what we're doing. So BBQ Network, thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate the comments and the suggestions, because he offered suggestions on movies to watch. A lot of old ones though, so might be something that we bring up later on. But ideas about top 10 lists and things like that. So
we've kind of discussed that top 10 list, and I'm really interested in doing that.
Liking it. Okay, Defending Jacob.
Oh, that's a Chris Evans one.
Yeah, always on Blu-ray. And C is coming. Oh, C is that's the Jason Momoa one where everybody's blind.
But see, all those are TV shows.
Yeah,
we're
looking for movies.
Yeah.
Also not always autocorrect works. So autocorrect sucks. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what we discussed, the studio. I really like that idea.
Yeah. because we were talking about doing a top 10 list for Disney because it's their 100th anniversary, and it's also Warner Brothers 100th anniversary this year. So yeah, doing a top 10 from each studio would be kind of interesting.
It would be. It'd be fun
Yeah.
too, man.
Yeah. So I think
100 years
yeah,
worth of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might do that.
So what do you got coming up this week?
Let's see.
I know you're off on Sunday.
Yeah, no Spirits of Spirits on Sunday because it's Easter. So we're gonna celebrate the holiday and take the week off. So Spirits of Spirits will be back on the 16th with Cryptids Part 6, where we're going to talk about cryptids in Australia.
Ooh,
that's going to be interesting. The Yowie, the Bunny Yip, and then we're going to look at some other ones in different areas. And then haunted locations in Australia, we're going to be looking at the following week. And tonight on Instagram, we're doing our pregame for the haunted locations in Australia to figure out which ones we want to talk about. So if you guys want to join us, that'll be at probably 10 p.m. Pacific time. So 1 a.m. Eastern. We'll be on there just kind of chit-chatting about haunted locations in Australia that we want to talk about. Let's see. That's about it. We have By the Numbers next week. We talked about the movies we're going to do there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got our top 10 list beginning with V on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be live.
I'm interested in that. I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be fun. There's still a few that I haven't seen that I've got to go through.
Yeah. You picked a movie. I even tagged you on Instagram. 2 movies. The one that we talked about, and one, and I don't know how I hadn't seen it because it's got Denzel in it, and I said, how did I not fucking see this? And I ended up enjoying that movie.
Yeah. I do a top 10 Disney if you want a special guest. Nice. You'd be the second person because movie buff Grant also wants to get on it too.
I have tomorrow for Comic Talk issue 7, I think. Mel, of course, aka My Killer Podcast, is going to come on, talk comic books. Oh, and we have there's a preview for an upcoming episode of Comic Talk, Batman Court of Owls Volume 1. That is a fantastic story written by Scott Snyder, drawn by Greg Capullo. He, to me, is a top. There's comic book artists and there's top tier comic book artists.
I gotta tell you, the artwork on here is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I open it up and it's like, oh man, this is like shooting a bullet and throwing it compared to Rocket and Groot.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I can't wait to dig into that. That's going to be a fun read.
And so tomorrow, again, My Killer Podcast on my YouTube channel, TurnerFan77, at 8 p.m. Central and whatever that is in the other time zones.
6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, brother.
There
I got you.
And everybody knows she loves movies. She's in horror movies. She's a final girl. But she loves comic books too. And I really want to get into her mind about why she likes comic books. And then I'm going to drop me and Malia went to see the new Super Mario Brothers right after school today. So we're going to do an out of theater thoughts. Probably drop that tomorrow. Okay. That's really it for me.
Yep. Of course, I got an unboxing. I might do the unboxing tonight, maybe tomorrow, but because I think I got all my packages for the week and there wasn't anything really out new that I needed to get. So no town hall meeting. It's just going to be an unboxing. Usually I do that on Fridays, but I'll probably do it a day early.
Yeah. Because usually post them Saturday. It seems Saturday as I'm getting ready for work. They come across my phone. Oh.
Yeah. I usually film them Friday night and then post them Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, before we go, I got to get the fine print out of the way. So I want to acknowledge Spotify for podcasting, because what they're doing is there used to be Anchor. Now they're Spotify for podcasting. They take the audio portion of this live cast and put it down on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music for us. If you guys get a chance, check them out. It's called Spotify for podcasting now, and they will set you up. They'll sponsor you. They'll get you listeners. And then once you get enough listeners, they'll get you more sponsors and they'll keep that going. And it's free. So really good group. They're doing a great job with us. I think we're up to 38 followers. So not too bad. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, go to the 4K Lowdown on Spotify, give us a follow. We'd really appreciate that. And listen to the stuff, driving into work, whatever. Throw the podcast on. We'd love to have you.
Like talk movies.
Yeah, faces for radio, so you don't have to look at us. All you have to do is listen. So, and also want to thank StreamYard. They take our live stream here and multicast it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for us. It's not free, so but I'm happy with them. They're doing a great job, and I like using them. So you guys check them out if you're not already. Most of the guys I see on here in the community, they use StreamYard. So they're pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, they are.
All right. I got that out of the way. That was fun. I say we get out of here, brother.
All right,
I want to
thank you for joining us tonight.
Really appreciate you guys. Love the comments. Evan, Dell, Pops,
Molly.
What else do we have?
Spicy.
Molly was in there. Molly, my fellow watermelon hater. Thank you so much for joining us.
Spicy.
Spicy was in. Thank you so much. My son Eric. Thank you so much for giving us a like on Facebook. But yeah, I think we're gonna say goodbye, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. Everyone.